no money, that's an asshole. It wasn't a phase.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Senior Citizen Podcast. We are here with a band that I didn't know how to pronounce their name until they got here. Hi Yardij.
What's up?
How you guys doing?
Doing good, how are you?
Doing great. I'm so happy you came out. I love you guys' vibes. I have to say, I met Anthony at Friendsgiving. Saw you at Friendsgiving.
Yes.
I don't remember if you went to Friendsgiving.
I was not there at Friendsgiving.
Okay, that was my first Friendsgiving ever. So thank you for being at my first Friendsgiving.
I love the Friendsgiving vibes.
Friendsgiving? Is this Friendsgiving with
Opal.
It was Opal's
Oh,
Friendsgiving.
okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Opal.
Yeah. I just love how, and I say this in a no shade way whatsoever, that it was just poorly organized. And we had like food-wise, there should have been an Excel.
6 mac and cheeses. there was an Excel.
She did do an
nobody
Excel.
listened to it.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Nobody paid attention.
Okay, I didn't know there was an Excel, so that there's that.
There's also that.
But when I showed up and I saw 6 trays of mac and cheese, I was like, oh, this is wonderful. And a bucket of KFC. It was great.
I think the Fast Walker boys brought the KFC,
Yeah.
So funny.
which is very on brand for them.
You guys right there.
No, but it was awesome. It was a great Thanksgiving. Thank you, Opal. We love you. You're an amazing human being. Tell me a little bit about the band, how you guys got together, how it got started.
Yeah. So Yardij started back when I was in high school. We were all in high school still, and I was probably 16, 17, and I started jamming with our bass player Alex. We would go after school and just do hood shit with hood friends. By that I mean we would just play music.
Oh, you're so Broward. No one in Miami would say that.
We would just play music and do stuff we probably shouldn't have been doing at 16, but that's what made it fun, and then we were kind of just really into it. At the time I was doing virtual school. I was an artist and stuff. I was with a production label, and I didn't want to do the solo thing anymore, and I was doing a lot of pop music, and I wanted to try something different. So I convinced pretty much my whole team to, my manager and our production label and everyone, I convinced them all to do the band thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we've kind of been on that journey ever since, so it's been really cool.
And how many years has that been? Because you say 16 and you look like you're 18.
Wow, Vicky, oh my God.
Okay, you're
I will take it. It was 2 years ago, yeah. No.
It's the vegan thing. You're glowing. I eat a lot of shit I shouldn't.
That's so funny. No, so it's been probably 8 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good shit.
Without giving away my age.
I think we're the same age. That's fantastic. Jordan, how'd you come across Yardij? Were you there from the beginning, or?
No, I came in you guys were together for 4 years before I came in?
You 3?
Yeah, I was interning at a studio during the time, and Ricky, the first drummer, had a session at the studio that I was at, and so Cheryl, the manager, and Ricky came, and I think my friend who was handling the session told one of the artists that were also under the label at the time that this guy my boy plays drums. So that's actually how they came to the studio. So they came. I think Cheryl, she only told me after the fact, but she's like, go see if he's good. If he's not good, I don't want to hear him. I don't want to talk about
Cheryl's
it.
our manager, by the way.
Yeah.
Right.
So we played, and it was like a minute. And
Right.
then the next week I was at rehearsal with them.
So you were good. They were like, oh, I want to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's really funny is Jesse and Jada were there, which were
back
in the day. Cheryl,
Yeah.
our manager, she managed a bunch of artists.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why we were looking for another drummer is Ricky's his name is Nitty Gritty. He's this famous DJ now. He's killing it,
He's
he
everywhere.
blew up.
Literally everywhere.
And so Jesse and Jada were at the studio, and they were talking to Ricky or Jordan at the time, and Jordan had asked them well, are they serious? And Jesse and Jada were like, are you serious? And I think that was when Jordan was like, all right, let's do this.
I think that's a funny question to ask in a space where you're like in a studio. It's like, obviously you're serious about this. Like,
Well,
we're not.
You'd be
we're not at the
surprised,
bar.
man. You'd be surprised.
I mean, it's funny, the version of that I heard, because I didn't get all the details, was that, like, I don't know if it was Cheryl or Ricky saw you, like, patting on a pencil or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's a drummer. And then they checked if he could actually play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so funny.
There's like so many versions of that story. And, like, whichever route you would have gone, like I would have gone, like would have ended up here anyway.
Yeah. Right.
So, sure. Like, but yeah, I just made it. Yes, we just started going to rehearsal and just started kicking it and doing it with them. Yeah.
And you still like them as people today?
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm an instigator. I like, like if we could turn
No,
this into.
we're good friends.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
We hang out.
Yeah.
We do lunch.
You definitely learn more things about people, and like, also, I mean, I will say, I mean, this is like, I'm in a band, obviously predominantly white Latino, like members, so there is somewhat of a culture thing to like understand, but at the same time, like, we're all in it to make music, and all just good people too.
Yeah.
So.
That's an interesting topic to bring up. I've never like wondered about cultural differences within bands.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Jordan eats a lot of Cuban food with us. Jordan gets us to go eat like West Indian food. He gets us to go
Which
to
is
places
amazing,
like
by the
Rum
way.
Veranda.
Yeah.
Well, wait, hold on. Like, there's more so it's been a minute, like, I've been trying to get them to come out to, like, a Caribbean, like, soca dance hall for, like,
Right.
years.
Yeah.
And they came out, like, I think, I don't know how many weeks ago, like, last month.
It's like November.
November?
Right.
Yeah, they came out in November. But it meant a lot because I think them going to that one kind of makes up for every
Glitch bar.
I mean, bro, every like any like dive bar.
Which bar has no culture?
That's
the point.
Yeah,
That's
like
it.
any place that we played that was like in a, well, I don't know Gainesville, but like any other ville in Florida that we played just to like try and gig, and I'm just. Like once the set is done, it's like, well, what am I doing? But
So
It's
yeah,
not
but
Jordan's normal hang, but he's a trooper.
no, we
Right.
make it work. I'm not saying I pride myself on like, being like a sponge for anything, but like, you gotta hold a conversation with anybody.
Wait, so you guys played at the soca thing, or
No,
went to just attended it?
No, we just attend. Just
Okay.
to go and, like, vibe.
No, because there's like a soca at the park thing in Lauderhill, like every month.
Yeah, we don't have soca vibes.
Okay. Well, that's the thing. My friend
What
was
is
trying to invite me to that because I was like, hey, come to pole dance with me. And she did. And then she was like, you should come to soca. And I'm like, how do those two things correlate?
Oh.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, they're fishing on us.
Yeah, sure,
There's
of
some
course.
overlap,
Yeah. But yeah, so.
So basically, the entire band is like a representation of my boyfriend when I try to get him to try new foods and he won't. And he's really white. Yeah. I know how you feel.
That's so funny.
Anthony, how did you end up in the band?
So I didn't join the band. I was the last one to join the band. It was 2018. Yeah, it was 2018. Deja and I had been working together at a job, like an after-school music program. And I was Deja's boss for a little bit. And then her and I were kind of talking. I had to fill in on bass for a show because Alex, shout out Alex, he did security at Ultra every year, like religiously. And like that was like a big part of his like finances. He's like, guys, I can't miss this. I can't not do this. We need to figure it out. And so Deja was like, hey man, would you be down to play bass? I was like, yeah, I love your band. Like, mind you, what I was seeing is that they had just opened for Bon Jovi. They had just played Okeechobee Music Festival, and like they were very serious about their craft. And I was like, I haven't gotten to do this like ever with some people who actually cared enough to put in the time and like whose music I really liked.
So
So
Anthony's sticking out the hood.
that's when we made it out the cut.
Stop.
But no, so they asked me to play this show with them. I was playing bass.
Anthony's sticking out a pump now.
I mean, I know Kodak. No, but they
Did you just go Pompano the Hood?
listen,
That's where you go.
there are parts of Pompano
There are parts
that
of
are
Pompano.
not great.
I'm not going to talk.
But no, so they asked me to fill in on bass, and it was a lot of fun. And at the time, it was just Deja, Jordan, Alex, and our other friend Nick was playing guitar in the band at the time. And so I filled in on bass, and then there was a conversation like, why don't you just keep playing with us? And I was like, if you guys will have me. And then so I joined as the the fifth member of the band, and I was playing guitar, and Nick and I were kind of alternating leads, and he was going to keyboard stuff. And then Nick ended up going on to do his own thing, so then I've been here ever since. So.
And the bassist in Nashville.
Bassist in Nashville is a new thing. Fairly
Okay.
new. Like,
But you knew him back in high school.
He was like, yeah, he's always been like,
I also knew him back in high school, actually.
Yeah.
He likes to tell the story that I'm the reason he plays bass, which is not true. He's the reason he plays bass because he practiced.
Can you tell his story since he's not here?
So Alex and I met. I was a senior in high school, and he was a freshman, and we were both in marching band, and he was the new kid in marching band, and we were in percussion. And
Were you at a school where marching band was cool?
We were kind of.
It wasn't cool.
Oh, stop! Stop!
At my school, marching band was
kidding.
the thing.
Where'd you go?
no, our band was kind
I
of.
went to Piper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I went to Western.
Yeah, Western's
But
band
they
was
had-
legit. Cooper City's band was legit.
Yeah, they were
West
dope.
Broward's band was super legit.
Yeah,
like
their band.
Broward marching band took itself way too seriously.
Can't relate. I was in the orchestra anyways.
We were too cool to be out there and like.
No, we were forgotten. It was just a filler elective. It was great.
That's fine. But yeah, so Alex and I met in marching band, and then our band director at the time had the bright idea that for the halftime show, instead of having me play timpani or whatever it was, that you're gonna play bass guitar because I know you play guitar, and I was like, okay, sure, that sounds fun. And Alex is like, whoa. And then I graduated, and he became the bass guitarist for marching band like for the next couple
I
of years.
actually didn't know how that story worked out. Like, I know he would always say that, but
That's
really cute.
how it worked. Yeah, it's very wholesome. That's very
very
sweet.
Anthony came to me in a dream and told me to pick up
Yeah,
the bass guitar.
My son, carry the torch.
That's cool. And I think the band overall started off on a very cool right foot, having management and studio time and whatnot. I want to hear a little bit about those roots, that pop star era.
yeah, the pop star era. So funny.
We can't
it was,
not
it
ask
was
about
a
it.
beautiful time. Like, I definitely got to do a lot of things that, most 15-year-olds don't get to experience. So I was like in a ton of different music videos. Like I was in Waka Flocka's music video and like Sean Kingston's music video. I had no business being there at 14, 15 years
Oh,
old.
absolutely not. Yeah, actually, wow. Okay.
But I was there.
It really took a second. I'm like, that's so cool. And I'm like, wait, you were 14?
Yeah.
No, I was 15, but still. I
Yeah.
was like 15.
So much better at 15.
Yeah, you're basically an adult.
Yeah.
Basically. So I was with a production label, and they would help me write music and help me with music videos, like just really putting together the whole package. And it was doing really great. A lot of people were definitely interested in the project, but I think I always knew that, it was funny. My mom was a huge part of my career, like she always believed in me, and she would always do really whatever it took to help me achieve the next step in my dream, so she was awesome about that. And but we would always talk about after every show, she'd be like, you keep doing this thing where you look to the side or you look behind you, and I think it was very weird for me to just be on stage by myself, or when I would have dancers, it never really felt the same. And what's funny is when I was little, at 6-7 years old, my grandfather's a bass player, so I would play a bunch of shows with his band, so at 7 I was playing this bar in New York City called American Trash, and so I think those were more of my roots. And I think when I thought of performing at 15, I would think more about how that felt, having a band and having that energy, and it wasn't really feeling the same when I was playing with tracks and had dancers,
Right.
So I think when I put those pieces together, especially after jamming with Alex and Andrew and Nick, these were all people who really helped get the band thing off its feet, was when I realized I think this is what I need to be doing. So it was a beautiful time, but I'm definitely glad about where I ended up with them,
Right.
and where this went.
You intrinsically knew what you needed to do.
Yeah, I
And-
think at the time I didn't exactly know, but then after I got to experience jamming with them and playing music with them, that was when I knew.
And I'm surprised that whatever age you were at, you were able to convince this production label, hey, no, this is a band project. This is no longer about me, because you actually hear people, moreover, struggling, hey, I don't want to work with other people.
Right. Yeah. I think I love collaborating, and I love the teamwork thing. I think I really.
She's the least selfish person.
I get the vibe. Like, you can tell a lot about a person just from their body language or the way they're expressing themselves. And I get the vibe that you genuinely love being like with these people.
Yeah,
like, let's work together.
There'd be times where like Deja, like if the band had $5 left and there was like someone who needed it more, she'd be like, let's give it to him. And then what?
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Family, we help each other out, you know?
Yeah. But then there are other times where it's just like, nah, Deja, let's not, come on.
It becomes like checks and balances. Like, you should pay this back $500.
All right. I mean, you know, but it's never been like a her thing, you know. It's always been like a, what you guys gonna do, you know? Or she's definitely be the first one to reschedule her schedule to accommodate everyone else.
Right.
So we can have rehearsal or like, you know, make a show or do something out of town, whatever, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, that's just one thing over the years that I've, you know.
That you've noticed from her.
Well, yeah, admired as well.
Yeah.
You know, because
Deja always like gives like a bunch of herself to the project. I think we all do, but it's just like she kind of sets the precedent.
No, yeah, everyone does. Everyone does.
And honestly, it's a beautiful project. Like, you look at it on Instagram, the visuals, the music, everything. It's all very well put together. I had no idea you guys started with an actual, like, you know, production company and whatever, but that's all super cool.
Yeah.
Just quick side note, last thing about the pop work. Is it under your name or is it?
Yeah, it's under Deja Elise, Elyze.
Okay.
You'll see me with like red hair and.
No, it's because I had a coworker that like, she went around and you know, when you're a kid and people say stuff like that, you're kind of like, okay, whatever. But this woman was well into her 30s, and she was like, yeah, I was a reggaeton star back in Colombia, and I had a stage name, and she wouldn't tell us a stage name. And I'm like, I don't believe you until I see it.
Yeah, until I see it, exactly.
So, not that I didn't believe you. But
No, yeah, it's still on YouTube. Against my wishes, honestly.
What was that track that Nick and Alex in the music video, Pressure?
Dude, Pressure, yeah.
Let's bring that back to the set.
That shit slaps.
Let's bring it back. Let's do it.
We're like 17 years old in this music video, you know.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, it's funny.
It's funny.
It's worth the
Ricky
watch.
is in it.
You play
Ricky's
Crown?
in it.
now I want to go watch
I've
it.
never played. I learned Crown and I would play it to upset Deja.
These are all like
They're like old songs.
old songs.
Right.
You know, we never play these days.
Well, it's funny because sometimes you can revisit it and maybe you're like, damn,
Oh,
this is actually
we
like
definitely had like
good.
conversations like that, you know, or like we'll listen to like old stuff and we're like,
Oh my god, it's my favorite story is when we did that Halloween show, the acoustic duo at Tough Times. There's a song that we played that night that we probably haven't played had not played for 3 years, like up until that night, just because we got so tired of playing it, and it was like Distance. Yes, we played Distance.
it's also like just vocally very demanding, like, and
You just write hard shit, dude.
I do this thing. Alicia Keys talks about it a lot. She does the same thing where like she writes songs that she can't fucking sing live. You know, like, and I pull it off, but it's like every song is like,
Yeah, right. Like,
get
where am I
this
gonna get more air
diaphragm
from?
So we do this show at Tough Times in Pompano. They asked us to just fill in a slot, and Deja and I were like, well, we can't get the band, so let's do it as an acoustic duo. And we kind of really leaned into it and played all of the Yardij stuff in the set as like folk Americana style music. And we're wearing cowboy hats, and it's like the whole thing.
It's a vibe.
It was fun. We talked very briefly after that show about like re-recording a bunch of the music in that style just to see what would happen.
Right.
I showed up, but I was late. Like right after he needed a capo.
I needed a capo. I was
And
like,
like,
Did you catch the show though?
bro, no. As soon as I walked the door, there was just like
We
he's
literally
unplugging his guitar,
unplugged.
and I just holding the capo in my hand, like, okay.
You sure you don't want it?
Yeah.
he handed it like
They didn't even say anything. She just saw me holding it. She just started crying. Like,
It was so funny.
it was funny.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Musically, well, you guys have been doing music for a hot minute, but I mean, what inspired you? What were those phases you went through? Your emo phase, much non-existent when you're a pop star. So,
Right.
like, we could go one by one. We'll start with Jordan. I mean,
So,
what influenced you, and did you go through any phases, like that scene emo phase, where you're like, oh God?
No, I mean, I always had like an appreciation for music, but I never like, you know, side parted my hair, like, you know, I was.
I almost side parted today. Wow.
No offense to anyone who's
No,
like,
take
you know,
it.
like,
I
you know,
still side part.
I was.
Me too.
Yeah, I wasn't going on a Hot Topic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was it a scary place for you?
Well, Hot Topic?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just see it, it's like, whatever. No, I'm kidding. Well, I always played hip hop music.
Okay.
And then also traveling to like Trinidad to play in like the steel band, like orchestra there. I mean, that kind of played a big role in my just playing anyway. Mm-hmm. And then jazz, for sure. Jazz is like a foundation. I think jazz has always been like my foundation for everything I play now, because these guys can tell you, there's times where we play live and I'll just go off the meter on something. Still in time.
Right.
But
just getting into it.
Yeah, it'll still be in time, and then so.
That was the shadiest, disapproving look I've ever seen, by the way.
Don't get me wrong. I love when Jordan does it, but sometimes I'm like, brother, please.
My brother in Christ.
Yeah, it'll go some time, but playing with them, and then because it's like our music is totally like indie, right? So indie alt, but then like I did a tour one time where I was just playing hip hop. It was like a little baby tour, so I was opening with an artist who was opening for him, and that was completely different. And I said we were playing tracks, but I just had music in my ear with no click or anything.
Oh,
so
wow.
Now you're taking that experience and then like coming back to, doing this with the band, it's like, all right, let's get tracks and stuff going. So, that kind of helped like propel things along the way. And yeah, just always playing with different people. So we're just, trying to be as versatile as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow, so playing in an indie alt band is like huge shift for you, not even just like culturally having differences with the members. It's like, damn, out of
kind of.
your music realm.
Yeah, like I like the music. I like music. I like just music in general.
Yeah.
So I was kind of listening to this similar music, but I think because I wasn't playing like the traditional style of like how the drums would be played, and that's a whole other conversation. But like I kind of brought my thing into like, how I would,
your own style.
Yeah, like how I would like interpret it. So
And the best music always comes from the people that are like, I listen to everything.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because you're not, narrow view.
Yeah.
So that's super cool.
Yeah.
Did you go through a phase?
Dude, yeah, I went through plenty. It's funny because, I always sang pop music, but I think that also played into, my, just, the identity crisis that I was having with pop music was, it wasn't the music that I was listening to.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, I had, my brand new and Taking Back Sunday phase, and then, later in high school, I got super into, dubstep, and then that got me into the jam band world. So I was all over the place.
I think you're the first person on the podcast. No, just kidding. No, somebody had the Deja and Tendu tattoo.
That's so funny.
But nobody ever says they listen to Brand New anymore, and I'm like,
yeah,
it slaps, but you can't say it.
That's so funny. Yeah. So yeah, and then I think when we're creating, I think a lot of my vocals are still, because when I was little, I loved pop. I was raised on pop, R&B, and hip hop.
Yeah.
My parents are
Top 40
hip-hop
radio,
heads,
and
So I think a lot of my melodies that I write are still very reminiscent of that type of music as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely all different flavors when we're writing music together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the songwriting process starts with you.
No, definitely not. It's always different.
Right.
Everyone brings ideas to the table.
Okay.
Anthony's a huge writer also, writes lyrics, writes melodies, and yeah, as far as production goes, all of us have our
chops.
Yeah, our chops. We all bring something to the table with production. Add Lucas into the mix, who's our producer, and
shout out Lucas.
Shout out Lucas.
Neon Prayers.
Neon Prayers, yeah. He's the one who tells us if our ideas are shit or not.
You need a friend like that.
Yeah. You do. It's
I can imagine all you coming we got this amazing thing put together, and he's just completely unimpressed.
Yeah, right. It's no, you do need that though.
Yeah.
You do need that. So.
Yeah, and then I had a conversation. I saw him on Friday, and I played him the demo for the thing, and he was like, "Why are you doing this, and this?" And I was like, "No, but you need that person who's going to be honest with you and still cares about the project.
Yeah.
To see it going in that that direction.
Yeah.
Whenever I tend to be that friend. Like I will tell you straight up. I won't tell you something is good for the sake of being good. But before I get into any constructive criticism, I'm always like, how emotionally attached are you to this right now? Because I don't want to hurt feelings. So like if you tell me like, oh my God, I'm in love with it, this is what I want to do, I'm not gonna, not even gonna bother.
Right.
My default and friends show me music that I'm not crazy about while still being nice. It's like, man,
Don't say it!
what? No,
Because then everyone's gonna know!
Right.
Listen, we're putting it up. If someone plays me something and I'm not crazy about it, but I don't want to be outwardly mean, I would go, man, that's really catchy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out of all things, catchy.
Out of all things, catchy. Which it's like...
Things that usually aren't good aren't catchy.
Usually it's just like, damn, that's crazy.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. I outed myself. If I've ever told you something's catchy, I'm sorry. Like, I guess
Damn.
sorry. No, I'm not.
Nah, man, you're speaking your truth.
Listen, and like I have friends who I'll give very, very honest feedback to. Like I play music with a lot of people, I collaborate with a lot of people, and there's no reason to mince words, and you don't have to be harsh to give constructive criticism.
No, and it goes beyond just saying like, oh, I don't like it. It's more like a, hey, why are you doing this? Like how,
Right. It's
how
like
Lucas will
questioning the
tell you.
process, and then if they can kind of explain, oh, I really want this for X, Y, and Z, then okay, keep it. You have your reasoning for it.
Exactly.
But consider, and then let's say something else.
Right.
Yeah.
You're already talking, so what was your phase like? And I know you're still in it because you post your Spotify what you're listening to, and I'm like, brother, same.
No, yeah, I'm definitely still in the emo phase, but I listen to a lot of other stuff now too. But middle school and high school was a lot of the emo stuff. Like got into the metal thing, got really into prog, and became insufferable for a few years. Like just a bad person to talk to about music. Pat Metheny. I love Pat Metheny. But yeah, I'm definitely still very much like attached to that music, and I don't let it go. I listen to it regularly. Like brand new, obviously, like Deja mentioned. I was really into Census Fail. Got really into like my favorite band of all time is Circus Survive.
Okay.
So kind of post-hardcore, like scenecore, whatever you want to call it. But now I'm listening to stuff and pulling from a lot of different places. Like I really like the 1975 and the band Camino. Like that's stuff that I'm pulling ideas from constantly right now. The Japanese House, Snail Mail, Beach Bunny, like just kind of pulling from different things where things feel fresh and like accessible to a pop-only audience, but then the people who are musicians are like, oh, this is so cool because there's more meat and potatoes to this than just like your standard 4-chord pop song. And then also just regular pop and Latin pop, like Rosalia. I really like Rosalia a lot.
She's so talented.
She's so
like
talented.
she is beyond.
I saw her at Anatomy in Miami the other day, and I was like, hey, yo.
Wow.
Oh, like just like in person?
She was just working out. I didn't say anything because that would have been weird, but like...
I feel like she's the kind of person to be like, yo, like,
Maybe,
just really nice about it. I don't know.
Sure.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, and then I guess kind of pulling where that comes into the Yardij project is, I talk about this all the time. I hate the guitar, like as an instrument. Like I play it, I think I'm a good guitarist. I just hate the guitar, like mechanically speaking. Like I feel like the way that I try to play guitar in Yardij is I try to use it more as a texture than like a really forward thing. Like I write parts and I'm like, let me just fill in little pockets of space that create interesting sounds and let our incredible rhythm section and Jordan and Alex do a lot of the work and just create like this nice building for Deja to stand on, and then production elements and little bits of the guitar just filling it out where it needs to be filled. Like
heavy on the production.
What's that?
Like heavy on
on the production and heavy on the guitar as like an element that feels more like production than just like playing chords kind of thing, or like a riff. Like
Yeah.
we're working on a demo right now. It's like the first guitar solo in a Yardij song in years. Like just because it feels like it fits, but I'm not the guy who's gonna be like, I need to be like the forward piece of the band. Just,
Right. And that's actually really impressive because usually the guitar is one of the most notable
we're
instruments.
terrible. We're awful. Like,
The way that you said that you like to add texture, I'm on a Project Runway like binge right now. Not even like a new season, more like, you know, the one from like 10 years ago.
Yes.
sure.
And there's this one designer that he just takes like these old lady fabrics and he does like this ruffle thing onto it, and it's so cool. Even though it's so 2013, and I'm like, I would never wear it. Right. But yeah, I see it. Like you're adding the ruffles.
Right, I'm the Ruffles guy. That's me.
The chips?
The chip, yes, I'm the chips and like the old lady fabric. Both up.
Oh, it's so cool. No, but definitely we have similar music taste in that perspective. And I love hearing all those other things that you're listening to because it's in a way like doing research. And I'm sure all of you do it in your own way too, to like search for new sounds or ways to change it up a little bit more.
Absolutely, yeah.
Where did the name Yardij come from?
So we garbage.
Really, that's really like
Kind of.
So-
Did someone like muffle it? And that's what
No. It's a funny story. So our manager Cheryl, her husband Gord, he owned a body shop, and like back to like my 15-year-old pop self, he used, I think it was like he owned a body shop, then he moved his body shop, and then Cheryl begged him to like keep the first one open, and she's like, it was like 2010, 11, 12, so dancers were like, dance music was huge, right? So she would run a ton of rehearsals for all of these music videos. She also did like casting. She was super involved in like the casting and getting girls started and just dancers all together for these music videos. She would hold all these rehearsals, and it was called the Junkyard.
Oh, okay.
So he was just, we were thinking of band names and came up with a million terrible ones. And then Gord, her husband, said, "What about Yardij?" And then we couldn't think of anything better, and then it always stuck. Like Yardij it is. But I mean, it's cool, you know, it's when people look at it, a lot of, I mean, my name is Deja. When people look at my name Deja, they don't know how to pronounce it. They don't know where to start. Yeah, it's Deja, Deja, whatever. DJ. I get all sorts of shit. So, you know, that was like one of the concerns with Yardij, but I was like, you know, it's not so bad. As someone who people.
You're like programmed to like, it's this, like this.
Correct.
Like,
yes, exactly.
I think there's a part of that story where it's like, it was the word yardage, like football yardage, like kind of referencing the junkyard thing. And then they looked at the phonetic spelling of that word, yardage.
And that looked a lot cooler.
Okay. Yeah, it does look cool, but it's one of those things that you read and you're like, yeah.
We get Yardij a lot.
Yardij.
J.
But the thing is, I'm the kind of person that doesn't know how to pronounce anything. Like, I will be sitting here and be like, how do I say it? And I like pray I don't forget like halfway through.
Right. Oh yeah, I feel that, dude.
What is the goal? I mean, you guys have been around for a while. You have amazingly somehow kept the same lineup for a while. Same name.
Yeah.
You have people who have a band for a year and they change the name, and it's like, I was emotionally attached.
We talk about it every year.
It's like Christmas time, and I was like, hey guys, we should change the name.
I do, and then I'm like, you know what? No.
If you ever do, just put New Year, New Me. New name.
Yes.
But anyways, what's the goal?
Like everybody's goal is to make it, right?
But everyone has a different meaning of making it.
Yeah, what's the difference? Like, because my definition of making it, or just, let's say, succeeding.
Right.
And we go through goals individually because Jordan's goal is not the same as your goal or whatever, you know.
So succeeding, right? Like, I guess as a band, like, but that, it doesn't mean us getting like that $1 million deal.
Right.
You know, I mean, I think as long as I look at Yardij as like it's a piece of a whole pie of my piece that I have, that everything else I have going on is, you know, makes up that whole thing. So this is like, okay, if we're able to play, that's I guess a goal for me at least, and also with the band is like, can we play, you know, X amount of shows, or go on maybe 2 tours or so, you know, a year, you know?
Right. Those are very much like SMART goals. And I'm more philosophical. What would complete you as a musician and as a person?
I mean, so I guess in the grand scheme, but also just to minute, it's just what I do every day. I just little things, like just practicing. Like, I don't know. It's this. I can't relate it to just doing music because it's not the first thing I was always doing music, but it's like the little things that I do that make music fun for me. Because I feel like if you're just doing music, if you're doing music every day, you're doing this one thing every day, I mean, you're gonna get burnt out and tired of it, you know. So you gotta like have some kind of switch to something so you're not burning out. So for me, it's journaling, it's reading, it's practicing, it's just playing with good people.
Right.
You know.
So for you, it's playing music and having a well-balanced life in general, because you're not.
Yeah.
You don't want to get burnt out.
No,
basically.
you don't want to get burnt out. No,
Okay.
Yeah, you get tired. You know.
What's your? Oh, you never get tired?
I never get tired.
I get tired a lot.
I get tired a lot. No, yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche, but just to share our music with as many people as possible, you know, and be able. Nobody gets to hear it.
No one's here.
Are you gatekeeping low music?
And yeah, just be able to tour, be able to, you know, release and be creative and, you know, definitely get to a place where you can make a living off of it.
Right.
You know?
Is there like a dream stage or
Oh,
place you want to play
I think
at?
it never stops, right? Like you get there and then it's like you want more.
Yeah.
Gig is a gig is a gig.
Yeah, and that's how I
Like-
feel too. It's
Yeah.
like you just, for me, like in this project, like we have like you said, like our smart, realistic goals. Like what are the goals for the year and stuff like that. But I think ultimately the end goal is just to, you know, if it's to 100 people or 100,000 people or 100 million people, or 10 people, like it's.
Yeah, 10 people who really give a shit, you know.
Yeah,
that means a
it's
lot.
just as fulfilling, I feel. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
I
To
just
live
want
off
to play
of
Red
it.
Rocks.
You want to
Yes,
play?
that's actually a great one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once we make Red
I
Rocks, it's like
I
okay,
just
I
want
can
to play.
retire.
If
I'm
this
good.
band ever plays Red Rocks, like I'm good.
Oh,
Like,
That's it?
You just
That's
gotta
it.
manifest it.
Yeah.
yeah, and
So
like,
you're just gonna retire after that?
yeah,
right?
like, guys, it's been real.
It's been
It's
real.
fun.
I'll send you some demos.
Yeah. But no, like honestly, like kind of echoing what Deja and Jordan were both saying already, it's that like we all have really kind of complicated and busy lives, and like having this work function as like a creative outlet and a way for us to connect with each other as people, and like it's always really weird for me on stage playing it anywhere and seeing somebody singing my own song back at me, like that still fucks me up, like in a good way, like that.
Yeah.
Like it's really really cool, and just if I can continue having that experience no matter where we're playing, like it's worth it for me to do. But if we're gonna dream big, I would love to play Red Rocks. Like that's like one of the most influential things. Like me deciding I want to be a musician was watching like Incubus live at Red Rocks, like on Blu-ray when I was like 15 years old.
Oh, you had Blu-ray?
Yeah,
Must be nice.
Crazy. But no, just like it's a gorgeous stage. It's a really really important stage. Like lots of people still play there to this day. And if we could ever do something to even to come close to that, whether it's opening for somebody there or something, like I'll be happy. I'll be satisfied.
That's such a concrete goal to have. Like, I love it because I'm very philosophical. I'm like, I want to make it. What is making it? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but very cool. And what you were saying about people singing your lyrics back to you was really funny because it made me think of when I went to go see Werewolves.
Yeah,
Local band.
we did Werewolves recently.
Yeah, I hadn't really I checked them out, but it wasn't like, I know the words to their songs
Right.
or whatever. But I was up in front because it was a really empty show.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, not like super empty, but it was respectable, so it's a lot to fill up.
Yeah.
So I was like really up in the front because I'm like, let me support, right?
Right.
This man starts singing his lyrics and he points at me and I'm like, absolutely not. I told AJ too, I'm like, dude, I didn't know. And he's like, you could just muffle stuff people don't even hear. I'm like,
Yeah.
That's funny.
but they're super dope. It's just I didn't,
Yeah.
And then it was like some random show too. It was like, I don't know why there wasn't like a whole lot of people there.
Show? The most recent show they had there?
No, it was a couple months ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay though. You're there to support. You're up front. That's
Yeah.
good.
That's cool, yeah.
That's
I went out of spite. My boyfriend was out of town and I was like, I'm going out without you.
Yeah.
And then my mom came with me.
Oh my god, that is so me. I love going out with my
I
mom.
love
Yeah.
when your mom comes to shows.
Dude,
That was
she's,
every day.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is one, I will never get tired of is going on dates with my mom.
Yo,
Yeah.
Cynthia walks in like hands in her jacket, scoping out the place. Like,
She's a cool mom.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's not like other moms.
Right.
Every time your mom comes to a show, I'm excited. And then the one time my mom came to a show, I was like,
When
Yeah.
your mom comes to a show.
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
No, we had a very bad show. That was actually the only time she ever came
That was
out,
the
right?
first and only
Oh.
time that she has not only come to a Yardij show, but come out to watch me play music ever. It was February of 2020, right before the craziest thing happened.
Wow.
And
What are you talking about?
Still
We were playing at Floyd. This is just a fun story, and I just never told my parents about shows because, and this is not the trauma dump on the show. That's not what I'm trying to do. But my mom didn't come to
Oh, absolutely trauma dump.
Okay. My mom didn't come to musical theater things in high school. She didn't come to marching band stuff. And it wasn't because she didn't want to. It's because she was really busy. Like she was administrator for a huge company, and she just did not have the bandwidth or time. And I understand that now, but as a kid, I was like, ugh. I was grumpy about it.
I'm the opposite way, not to get into your trauma dumping, but I'm a kid who like also like when they did things in school, sometimes parents weren't there. And as a kid, I was like, oh, they're working, whatever. But as an adult, I'm like, you could have fucking made time. You could have made time. I'm an adult with an office job.
Two sides of the same coin.
I have not missed a single recital for my nieces. That's all I gotta say.
No, I feel you, but it's like years of conditioning of my mom just isn't gonna come watch me do this, and then we're loading into the show, and then I hear my name from behind me. I'm like, that's my mom's voice.
Oh, you didn't know she was coming?
I did not know she was
But
coming.
you told her about the show?
No.
Oh.
I didn't tell her about the show.
Oh, okay.
And my mom and my stepdad and my sister and her boyfriend.
Damn, the whole family.
The whole family showed up.
I
had never been to like any of my shows, and I was like, we were already stressed about the show because rehearsals had been kind of shaky. Like
that was the worst show.
it was
Wow.
not a good show. It was the worst. No, that's not the worst show we've ever played. I will tell you what the worst show we've ever played after I finish the story. But yeah, my mom was just like, yeah, I came to see you. And I was like, great, cool.
That's always the worst show.
That's what I thought. Because we always talked.
No, Underground's Coffee House.
Oh my god, it was so dark. It was so dark. And we decided to play we did this rendition of Everybody Wants to Rule the World by Tears for Fears.
Right.
That like we did. Yes, you were there. Yes, you were there. And you threw in a Latin groove during the verse that we agreed on you not doing. And we're already struggling so hard because it's mad dark in Underground. Like you can't see anything. And it was our first time playing there. It's like we didn't think anything of. It's like a small venue, you know. We're like,
I used to go there back in the day.
Yeah, like we didn't think anything of it. We were not stressed.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we like get on there and it's like mad dark, and we're playing this really
hot.
hard cover.
We can't hear anything because
anything.
There's no monitors. The speakers are like 5 feet.
That venue is like good for like punk music, and then if we just like kept shit simple, you know. But we decided to do this like really weird cover. Like I said, like this weird arrangement of this song.
Yeah.
That's already kind of like tricky, you
Right.
know?
We got through it.
That's what matters.
Yeah.
And you like blocked it out from your memory, so like props to you.
I was gonna say,
Shout out BetterHelp.
what?
Sponsored by BetterHelp.
Sponsored by Phyllis.
That's funny. I think. Wait, you're not therapy, are you?
Yes, I've been there.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a HIPAA violation.
Is it?
No. It's just my therapist goes, yeah, he's totally in therapy.
Yeah, we're all in therapy. That's a good thing.
Yeah, no, it is a good thing.
Yeah.
From that show? No, okay.
We all need to like check ourselves in.
Yeah, we check ourselves in after that show.
No, props to you. Therapy is super important. We are going to provide advice. And now that I know you guys are in therapy, you probably got your shit more together anyways.
Man, here we go.
For someone on Reddit. So this is a 32-year-old woman who wants to expose her husband's mistress. The husband is 34, the mistress is 26. My marriage hasn't been smooth sailing for a while now. Since our wedding in 2017, my husband and I have been growing apart, and the atmosphere between us isn't what it used to be. Despite those pitfalls, we both resolved to work on things to make them better, so you can imagine my shock and heartbreak when I realized my husband is cheating on me. Basically, they live in a small-knit community, and she found out because she saw some dirty messages on his phone.
Yeah.
I feel so betrayed, not only because I still have love for my husband, but because we'd promised each other we'd try to make things better. My anger was directed a lot at his mistress, too. She's actually heavily involved in our local church and does a ton of volunteering, and people love to paint her as a sweet little girl who can do no wrong.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm mad just listening to this.
Obviously, I know better, and as morally bankrupt as this might be, I really want to expose her. I'm sure it's also jealousy that's making me more angry with her than I am with him, particularly because she knows we're married and clearly went ahead with the affair. I won't tolerate cheating, and I'm going to leave my husband. Thank you. I want to confront him in our home and tell him I know everything, but as for his mistress, I want to expose her and let the church group know. So how should she do this?
Okay, I'm going to go first.
Go ahead. Take point.
Yeah.
So I have 2 really funny stories. The first story is growing up, my mom's really good friend was cheated on. And like she went and exposed her husband's mistress, left her husband, dumped her husband, they had kids together. It was really sad, you know?
Right.
Exposed her husband's mistress by posting like flyers all around the city. Like, don't let this woman near your husband.
Oh my God.
You know, like face and everything. Face first and last name.
That's a good way to do it too.
Yes.
They live in a little tight knit
I'm
community.
like 8 years old hearing the chisme, and I'm like, wow, so that's how you deal with that. You know? Like,
This is perfectly normal and healthy, and then your therapist is like,
healthy.
no.
And like, you know, like, yeah, I mean, I was cheated on in high school, and I was like super pissed, and I pretty much did the same shit, like exposed that girl, you know, and like I look back and I'm like, man, she was just an insecure 15,
Right.
16 years old. No, it was a messed up story, man. We're at a party and everybody's like getting messed up or whatever, and she walks in with my ex now, you know, and this was probably like 2 weeks after the whole school found out what happened.
Right.
Like, he was cheating on me with this chick. She walks into a party and the whole party starts chanting my name, that they leave. And I felt awful after that because
Damn.
I don't know why, man. Like, I'm glad he left, you know, but
Yeah.
I felt kind of bad for the girl because, like, I think about how, you know, just 16-year-old girls are like generally insecure, and like sometimes they just want any attention they can get from a dude. You know? It still makes me mad though. It's very hard for me to excuse. And I don't like to judge. Like, everyone's has their own like shit going on in their life. I think that's the one thing that's really hard for me to just like excuse though, as being another woman.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I just can't. I can't get down with it.
No.
You mean cheated on by another?
Like if I.
If you knew somebody was in a relationship and you're with them,
That
like you
person
can
is
never
just
be in
off
that.
limits for me.
Exactly.
Like, I would not even think twice.
Yeah, like you don't even look in that direction. Like that's
No.
not morally
It's-
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think.
You would think.
You would
You would
think.
think.
But again, like, I don't, you
The
know.
person cheating, you're saying, right? The person who did the
The
whatever.
the mistress. The
Yeah, but you know,
Or the mistress, I
I
don't know.
also come from a back, like, it's very personal to me. You
Yeah.
know, like, I've seen my mom be cheated on, and that's been so, like, it's the most hurtful thing in the world to see that, you know? So, like,
Yeah, it messes you up.
it messes you
It
up.
messes you
It
up.
messes you up. So, like, I think
Yeah.
that's part of the reason why it's so hard for me to, like, you know, excuse. So, my gosh, I would say expose that bitch.
yeah, put the fires
Maybe my
up,
therapist
social
wouldn't
media.
agree, but
No, that's like your what is it? It's like get it out of your system.
just gotta
like,
get that shit out. Get that evil out.
especially if everybody's looking at this girl like, oh my god, this little girl.
Right. She,
We're
like,
done.
volunteers at the church.
Yeah,
like,
no, you gotta miss me with that bullshit. Anyways,
So, my take is similar, but I take a different path. I like the last play of the drive, where it's like, yeah, you can't forgive that, and like this person needs to be made aware of what they're doing is they should know that it's wrong. And the fact that they don't, like, they need a reminder whether that goes one way or another. I don't think publicly shaming somebody ever is a good way to teach them a lesson, because then they victimize themselves in that circumstance. Like, that's the knee-jerk reaction. It's like, I can't believe this is happening to me. Right? But if Reddit, soon to be divorcee, goes to like the leaders of the church directly and goes, just so you know, this is what your so-called girl who does all her bakeries and yada yada is doing. Here's the receipts. Do whatever you want with that information. And then like it becomes like a personalized attack. Like
Right.
that's going to teach a much better lesson than public humiliation, in my opinion. Because what I'm saying is that, like, yeah, you'll get the message eventually after you process if you get publicly humiliated. But if someone who's like an authority figure in the church goes to you and goes, "You're doing this with this, and we know all about it,"
I think that's an aftermath. I would do both. Expose it and then give the receipts to the church
All right,
people.
well,
I
all right,
mean,
so
Jordan's gonna give the healthiest. He's done the most work.
we'll close out with Jordan's advice.
Damn, that's crazy. All you guys on the same board of just like
listen,
public stoning, not public stoning.
No,
do a little bit of both, you know. So I would say, well, one first and foremost, that the situation, like, obviously, I think you can have that conversation with your husband. She should have that conversation with her husband.
Oh, where you cheated on me? We're beyond conversations.
But no, I'm saying so, but she.
Like leaving him.
Yeah,
right.
she's leaving him.
well, that's
Oh.
Goodbye.
Okay,
Yeah,
alright,
no,
she's
that was not even a question in this. She's
All
like,
right,
I'm done.
All right, so right then and there, that's it. You going about, bro? I'm telling you. Why am I going to the church? I'm gonna be in the woman's shoes, right? Why am I going to go to the church and tell them my personal business so they can have a reaction to whatever this person or whatever? At the end of the day, shit comes out. It's like, you know, just it's energy that I just don't need to give to the situation already, right? why don't you just take that and invest it back into yourself, and I guarantee you, you're gonna find someone better than the guy who just cheated on you with, right? I only say that because I have experience in it, not doing the cheating, but experiencing it, and it doesn't feel good. And literally took that energy and invested in therapy, like just doing stuff for myself. And next thing you know, you're outside, you're hoisting girls up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Like inside joke.
Feature on my camera boy.
You know, like just doing, then it's like you really see, at least for me, like you could really see like, oh, like, yeah, you're a catch. You gotta tell yourself at the end of the day, you're the prize, you know? So.
I will say, when I found out my mom was being cheated on, I went through extra measures just to make this girl's life a living hell, and I did not feel good about it.
See?
Okay.
You know,
That's
I felt, after it was done.
It's the recoil.
Yeah.
It's like you do it, but then it's like, because I know myself, I know.
Because I was so angry, you know,
exactly,
you do shit out of anger.
Exactly. Recently, how I was feeling is just like, all right, well, I could go and do these things, but then it's like, the next day, you just take a deep breath.
But sometimes I just feel like being crazy.
Well,
I cannot.
Go and.
I told you guys in the beginning, I'm an instigator. I'm also super toxic. So I need your therapist's phone number, and you guys can go ahead to this camera and let them know anything they need to know about Yardij.
Okay.
You can follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, on Instagram we're at Yardij, and then on TikTok we're yardij.fl.
The 12-year-old has Yardij and won't give it to us.
Yeah.
That's
true.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
That's so true.
I DM'd them, they read it and didn't answer.
They're waiting for you guys to blow up.
Yeah.
And, like, sell it to
They're gonna
you.
sell it at like $20,000.
We have a lot of music coming out this year, and just a couple months ago we released a single called Your Move that has a super awesome visual that you can check out on YouTube. And
Shout out to Ionet.
Shout out to Ionet.
Yeah.
We're on Spotify, Apple Music, and Lucas, all that good stuff. So yeah.
If you're watching this somewhere that isn't South Florida and you want us to come play, let us know, because we're always trying to go places just for the sake of traveling and playing in new places.
We're very down. Do your best.
1% better
Take your
every day.
time.
1% better every day. There
Go
it
to
is.
therapy.
Go to therapy.
Thank you guys so much for coming out. It was
Thank you for
honestly,
having
my
us.
face hurts from laughing so much. It was this great chat. We'll be here supporting you every step of the way.
Thank you.
To you guys, make sure to keep tuning in to the Senior Citizen Podcast. Subscribe, like, engage, all that nonsense, and we'll see each other next week.